My name is Sherri Tran, and I'm currently a part-time accelerated MBA student at the Schulich School of Business. I plan to specialize in supply chain and digital transformation, but I'm always open to keeping my options open. During the day, I am a procurement specialist at CSA Group, supporting our strategic sourcing and strategic initiatives teams. In the past, I've also held marketing and logistics roles at other firms. And a fun fact about me is that I can play three instruments: piano, alto sax, and the ukulele. I decided to pursue an MBA because I am an avid advocator of continuous learning, whether it's hands-on through experience or at an educational institution like pursuing an MBA. There's always an opportunity to further develop your knowledge and skill set. And personally, I just love absorbing information, and thought that pursuing an MBA while working would help me simultaneously learn the concepts better and apply the concepts at work. So I actually got my undergrad degree at Schulich, so I got to see a little sneak peek. Especially at the networking events, you get to also network with MBAs. So one of my key pushers was meeting this one MBA student who was so active. You would just see him in the halls so often, and as an undergrad student, I was just blown away by how much of his presence was there. And then I got to connect with him and actually learn how he's applying his MBA in his career. And from there, I started, asking more people, and then started working. At my work, I actually have a few Schulich alumni as well. So got to connect with them, really understand the value that they got from the program. There's also a few other folks who graduate from other programs as well, and just really comparing their different experiences. And at the end of the day, I thought, let's go for an MBA. So a bit of detail on the accelerated part. So a typical MBA is a 2-year program. However, because I also graduated with a BBA, so the very same concepts as basic, I get to basically skip the first year of studies and just go straight into specialization. So in terms of workload, as it is part-time, it's not that heavy. And at the same time, my workplace is also very accommodating, and they understand, strict log off at 5 because I need to study. So it's been very nice. So I do plan on taking supply chain management, but right now I'm also wrapping up one of my electives, and it's realizing the value of AI and analytics in business. And even though I have no tech background whatsoever, I actually really enjoyed the course. I think it's something that I actually want to pursue, which is the whole digital transformation aspect of the specialization. And so I want to take similar electives as well, such as visual analytics and modeling. Bit of both. I think some was planned, and also curiosity definitely had a factor. I had this little childhood dream when I was in middle school to go into tech, and my mom said, "You have a really bad memory. Don't think that's good for you." So I was like, okay, let me just hold off on that dream and maybe pursue it differently. And now that there is, especially a lot of tech in this industry, or all industries actually, it's just really helpful to just understand the concepts. Maybe not the whole technical aspect, but really understanding how that can really expand an organization, for example, in terms of efficiencies. I joined my current organization about 2 years ago, and right before me, they had just transitioned to a new tech platform. So getting to see the change management aspect and how, value is derived from a new system, I thought that taking a course that would actually help me really understand what's happening would be really beneficial. And I wasn't wrong, so happy to learn. Debatable. I'm currently doing my interview on my piano because that was the only place in my house with a nice background. But in terms of memory, I would say it's more muscle memory, right? The more you practice, the more it just remembers. So I'm actually a really bad sight reader in terms of music. So I had to memorize some parts because I was so bad at just coordinating what note is this next note. So I think that actually applies where the more you do something, the more it's ingrained in your mind. And maybe memory is not the best example for me, but I would say how that applies to me is just the constant need for growth and learning. So having that ingrained in my mind every single day is just something that's been improving myself. In my undergrad, because it was also at Schulich, very similar specializations. So I pursued operations management and marketing at the time, hence the few marketing roles that I've held. But I realized that marketing was not the right path for me, but it's good because I, still young, get to try out new things. And so after working, I'm in procurement. So I thought that supply chain was, first of all, really relevant to me, but I also wanted to see what I could pair it with. So which is why I kind of derived to digital transformation. But in terms of other specializations, accounting and finance, I'm not that much of an avid numbers girl. I can do some numbers, but maybe not have an entire specialization around it. Something else that did interest me, though, was the real estate one, because at my current workplace, I am managing the corporate real estate portfolio. I think Schulich is a school that really pushes you to be your best, and it really depends on each individual as to how they receive that energy. I think regardless, every day you constantly improve yourself without even knowing it, whether it's learning in class or learning from peers, connecting with professionals, whether that's your prof or through networking events, and then applying it to the job or even extracurricular activities. I think it's a school that really fosters growth and pushes you to really think. I think a very general frustration is the whole time management with others, right? I think everyone has priorities, which is important. I think we all have priorities, family, work, school, but then it's also understanding how different people have different ranking of priorities. Maybe school is not at their top option because they may have a family to feed, right? And so that you just have to really understand and have to work together with that person, whether it's being more flexible with your own schedule or really understanding what workload you can help take off. It's just the whole coordinating and really understanding the other person. So right now, because it's only part-time, I'm taking two courses. One is strategic management and the other being the realizing value aspect. Strategic management has been actually a very useful course. I think on one end, because I am working now, I understand the concept a lot better. Whereas in my undergrad, it was a lot of just theory. It was like, cool, I understand this, but also not really. But now that I'm working, I get to see it in real time. So kind of connecting those two worlds together. And in terms of bringing the school concepts to work, it's the deep analytical thinking, even with the value in AI, even though I'm not in a tech role, there's a lot of implementation that you can bring into play or planning out a business case. And those have been really useful to work as well. I think there are a lot of opportunities. They're just endless, and it really depends on what each person and myself will be getting from the program. And for sure, in the short term, I'd love to see an opportunity where I can apply these concepts in new contexts. So not just in my current role, but maybe even expanding out. My workplace is really open to trying out different things as well. So maybe divvying into a different department and applying those skills would be really cool, or even using it to innovate and increase efficiencies, whether it's here or an extracurricular or a volunteer role. That'd be really nice as well. I think Toronto is a place that has something for everybody. The Greater Toronto Area is connected by public transit. So even if you don't drive, there's just one way to connect one place to another, and you can always explore. Oftentimes you end up being a tourist in your own city. That's something that I've experienced as well. But not only that, I think one of the most unique things is how multicultural we are. Not just the restaurants, the fun events, and the festivals, but you get to really have the opportunity to learn from others, whether it's different cultures, different work experiences, and just having that help you expand your horizon and think of things in ways you haven't thought of before. In one of my extracurricular activities, my co-chair of the extracurricular is actually in the healthcare industry, and I think that is so amazing. So she has 10 years of experience in prosthetics, and now she's doing an MBA. So just absorbing how she thinks in the healthcare and how she takes the exact same concepts that I'm learning, but applying it in a completely new context. And it's just really interesting because obviously, me having no science background, it's just amazing to really see how everything comes into play in a different world than mine. I think research, right? Schulich MBA degree is an amazing program for sure, but it's also really important to really understand all the options available, whether it's the different MBA specializations at Schulich or even the other master's programs offered at Schulich. There's like the Masters of Business Analytics or Masters of Marketing. There's just a lot of different things that you can really dive into. And I think connecting with alumni or current students is something that can be really beneficial, especially when you're considering how a certain program can align for you and your future. And after you've done all that research, go for it. I think regardless of the school or program that someone is pursuing, it's just amazing that they're thinking about their future. That's a really important step to just growth in general. Maybe Schulich is that next step. And if so, really understand what you can get from the program as an individual as well. I think it's also really amazing that the entire world is online now. So whether it's building connections before, during, or after the program in your local area, or even across the ocean, I think that can only help you. There's no hindrance in building connections, and it can only expand your horizons.